Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. I just decided to do a quick video while I'm on my break. I just want to talk about this Canelo and DAZN thing because it's a debacle. Now, keep in mind, when I first heard about this deal, I was one of the first people that said, man, I don't know about this. I was one of the first people that said, man, I don't know if this is going to work. When I first heard about the DAZN thing, I was kind of like, I don't know if this is gonna work. People want to stream fights, watch big main events, streaming and all that kind of stuff. I know if you got a smart TV, you can log on to DAZN. You can sign up for DAZN. If you got a Fire Stick, you can. But at the end of the day, you still have to pay sometimes. If you don't have that pay-per-view plug on some of your Fire Stick streaming services, then at the end of the day, you still got to subscribe. So it was just one of these situations where I was thinking to myself, boxing, as part of streaming may not be a long-term solution. And I just think people didn't care for it. It's just some things that people like to watch in front of crowds, big TV. Sometimes people don't want to go to a computer and program and all this shit. They want to just click a button and then it's just ready to go. Hit buy and then it's ready to go. The DAZN thing is the fault of both Canelo and DAZN. For one, them giving Canelo that type of money. Because at the end of the day, it was a question about how big a star Canelo really was. And that's just fact. I'm not hating on him. It ain't got nothing to do with him being Mexican or none of that shit. It was just a question of how big a star he was. And I don't think he was the face of boxing. Because there's still people that haven't heard of him. He's not a household name like Floyd Mayweather. And like I said, he had a lot of things that was hindering him. One, his lack to speak English. Now there's a rumor that Canelo can speak perfect English. Well, if he can speak perfect English, he better start speaking it. Because that would make him even more sellable. The thing is with Oscar De La Hoya, Oscar could speak perfect English as well as speaking Spanish. And that's why Oscar became the big star that he was. He could appeal to everybody. And I just think to a certain degree, Canelo still don't have universal appeal. And it's no knock on him and there's nothing wrong with it. You just can't market him the way you could market Oscar De La Hoya. Because you have a limited audience who you can market Canelo to due to the fact that he's reluctant to speak American English. And whether you like it or not, that is playing a key role in Canelo's, stature of becoming a superstar. Because he isn't there yet. Because to be honest with you, they have never really released what Canelo's true pay-per-view numbers was. Any fight that he headlined, they never released the true pay-per-view numbers. Now, people said he did 1 million, but then Oscar said, well, I'm not going to release the true numbers. So obviously, somebody was off, somebody was lying. But when Canelo took that deal, did Canelo thought he could fight 11 mediocre fights? Did he think he could keep fighting guys like who he's fought so far, Rocky Fielding? I'll just say a long in the tooth Sergey Kovalov, a borderline underachiever in Daniel Jacobs, and now it's looking like he's headed towards Caleb Smith. At the end of the day, Canelo is hollering about his money. Well, Canelo is going to have to try to make some big fights. But at the end of the day, let's just tell the truth about Canelo. There are people that is hesitant to get in the ring with Canelo because they are not only fighting Canelo, they are fighting the judges, they are fighting the TV network, they're fighting Golden Boy Promotions alongside Canelo. As I said before, going into a fight with Canelo, when the bell rings for round 1, you're already down at least 3 to 4 rounds. So basically you have to catch up. And if you don't put Canelo on his ass, or knock him out, And you may have to put Canelo on his ass more than one time. You don't have a chance of beating him. Because at the end of the day, Canelo, yes, only has one loss to Floyd Mayweather, which in most people's eye, even the biggest Canelo fan know that that was a blowout. Floyd clearly won that fight. There was nothing about a draw in that fight. Nothing. At best, like I said, if you being generous, you might could give Canelo one round, and maybe one round you could call it even. But at the end of the day, it was a dominant performance by Floyd Mayweather, and people have to accept the truth. Now, Canelo's hollering about his 30 million. Well, like I said, do you think people gonna sign up to see you fight guys like Caleb Smith and stuff? We want to see you make some big fights. You sitting up saying you want your money. Well, if you want people to sign up for the DAZN, you got to do your end of the bargain. Nobody really cares about a third fight with Triple G. You got to start looking at the guys like Charlo, Andrade. You know what I'm saying? Caleb Plant, David Benavidez. You have to start looking at those type of dudes. Okay? And then it's a question about whether you are sending these dudes contracts. So to a certain degree, I don't feel that sorry for Canelo because he did it to himself. You think, like I said, people gonna go sign up for and have to watch you fight mediocre competition? Say what you want to say about Floyd's 6-fight deal with Showtime. He gave us some solid fights, and he gave us the fight that everybody wanted to see, that everybody clamored to see, which was the Manny Pacquiao fight. So we got something out of Floyd's 6-fight deal. Okay? Because if Canelo think he finna keep fighting, you know, Rocky Fielding and guys like Caleb Smith, then it's gonna be a long, short contract for Canelo. Me, myself, when it's all said and done, I think Canelo is I think this contract is gonna get voided out. Will people end up in court behind this contract? Maybe, maybe not. But that's just my take on the whole Canelo thing. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.